was, but it ain't what it is. Face in the mud, I really be hating in the mud. Said I can't pick it up, but I did. Y'all know Goon put too much bass in the sub. Cup full of blood and I gave it a chug. Wait till your neighbors get all snug, then play this real loud where you live. This that for the kids, saw something strange, can't say what it is. Court case came, ain't say what he did. Make sure you move, put a chain on the gear. Yeah, I've been on top of the tower, got the power, weatherman. Gun cock in his pocket shower. Put you down with the squid, says rocket power. I done hang with the guys and we talk for hours, yo.
I can't really push out that fast right now.
Okay.
So I started my first season in season 3, and I started in Silver 1 that season. That was like, I did my rank placements and I hit Silver 1. And then by the end of the season, I was, well actually, about halfway through the season, I hit Diamond 1. And then I got my Challenger promos, and I failed 0-3, and I quit immediately. What brought me back? I think that, I don't know, it was really hard for me to play League because it was just like, this game is like such a big time sink for me, and I couldn't like moderately play it. It was like all or nothing. So when I was in high school, I was like focusing on school, and then I would like play a little League, and then I'd play a lot of League, and then like my school would, I mean, it wasn't really my school, it was more like my social life would suffer. And I would just stay inside, like I'd come home from school, do homework, and then just play a lot of League. But I always think that it's just like, it was just like always a balancing act for me, so I think I was always gonna come back. I didn't really decide to switch to top lane. Actually, I remember, it wasn't why I switched, but when I was first starting out, I got in a game with Imaqtpie, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because, I mean, he was a pro player and I was like a nobody. And I added him after the game, and he added me back, and I was like, hey man, like, do you have any advice on how to like become a pro player, like how to get better? And he was like, you're a mid laner, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you should switch to top lane because top laners fucking suck.
Eric's actually a big part of why I'm actually a pro. He's like one of the people who told me like I should go to scouting grounds. And then like whenever I asked him why, he'd be like, I don't tell people to like go pro unless I actually think they're good.
When Blabberfish 2 was an absolute nobody, I played in his game, and I think he was playing Rek'Sai, and I was on one of my solo queue accounts.
He was on his account, it was called Boost for Nudes.
I got a lot of friend requests on that account.
And that was the time when I was first climbing to Challenger, so season 6. And he was the first first Challenger player I added. The first Challenger player that added me back, sorry. All of them declined my friend requests.
Like first, the name was awesome. Like it was just a really fantastic name. But I basically kind of just always talk about how I was his first high elo friend because it really pisses him off. And how like, I like made Blabberfish 2 and he would be nothing without me.
Licorice he's a funny guy, in my opinion. Like, anytime I'm around him, he's always really funny and never really negative, usually. But yeah, except that, I don't really know what he has. It might be boring, I guess, since I don't know anything else, you know?
I think Eric is a really easy person to talk to, just about, I guess, life. And he's really easy to talk to about the game too. But he specifically is much more private about his life compared to most people, I'd say. He likes to keep his relationships like more private, and then he likes alone time a lot more.
For me, generally as a person, I'm actually quite like introverted, I would say, where I like need downtime to recharge. And I would say like at least that part is super true for me, where I like need alone time. It's actually been really like fortunate or lucky to have the space to do that because the team is doing so well that everyone, and there's like a lot of trust between everyone. So they all trust that I'm working hard and that I'm not like letting them down and I'm still putting in the effort. And that's actually just felt really good.
Ooh, 111. Oh! Anyone want to challenge the king or?
How much did you get?
111. Accuracy, 97%.
Yeah, let me get in there. Should I do the same one?
Yeah.
Alright.
It was actually kind of hard at first. Fucking Genera convention prohibits. Instead of having warm-up games as an academy, just play Tiebreaker for half an hour.
Warm-up Tiebreaker? For half an hour? I would use it.
Man, I think it would have been close if I wasn't fucked at the start. What, my accuracy was good?
Yeah. You can check this.
Yeah, so I have a pretty specific game day routine that I kind of do before every game, and it doesn't matter if it's like an LCS match or playoffs game or Worlds game. I try to keep it the same always, and it's not super complicated. I'll go to LCS and I'll either be listening to music when I go or I won't, and that's kind of just depends on how I feel for the day. But I'll get to LCS, and then when we go for makeup, I'll start listening to music, and I have like a specific playlist that I always listen to on game day. Well, I have two actually. One is for like before the game, and then one is like a 5-song playlist that I listen to like right before the game. So I'll go to makeup and I have on the first playlist. And then when I finish makeup, we'll go back to the team room and I'll start watching the game before us. If the game's like not super one-sided, around 20 minutes into the game, I'll go and I'll grab a Red Bull and I'll start drinking that, and I'll eat a banana, and I go to the bathroom, and then I switch to the other playlist of like songs that help me get like pumped up before the game basically. And then I do that, go backstage, we have a little team meeting, C9 on 3, 1, 2, 3, C9, you know.
1, 2, 3, C9!
Go on stage, and then I have breathing exercises that I do when I'm sitting down, and I usually do those either in Pickman or just going into the game, like on load screen.
TSM versus C9. Every time these two teams play, it is always exciting. It actually is a fairly big rivalry, but we were talking during rehearsal, Cloud9 has double TSM's wins. Yeah.
TSM, I think right now they're really boosted. I think it's a secret, like they lost to CRG. I think they were losing to 100 as well, I think, at one point. Maybe they won that game, but they're looking really sloppy. They're doing weird drafts. I don't know what's going on with the team.
4 members here in the top side. Vulcan thinking about whether or not it may be worth trying to help his ally. Licorice will be dove on there, trying to just buy as much time as possible. Vulcan wanted to hang around, but is he hanging around too long? Niski makes his way up here into the fight now. Ulti comes out from Kabe, but he's going to be finished off. Spin now able to put down a lot of damage onto these guys. Free firing Vulcan here on the front line now going to be blocking up everybody from making their way into the fight. Into the stasis he goes. Still there in vulnerable range. As there comes your showstopper. But the show is stopped for set. Dardoch's underneath the turret. Biofrost very low. Bullet time, baby! It's not going to find the kill, but it makes TSM head to the hill. Niski goes forward. Another bomb strapped to him. Can he find the damage? The Drowsy is down. The Battle Star is weaved through TSM. And C9 are 5-3.
The Shed ultimate at the end captured Flowers to keep Niski alive, going through.
I can only say so many words per minute, man.
That was an incredible fight, and this is the thing that sometimes sets C9 apart. A good amount of power right here. Let's see them fight.
Niski goes for some early damage before the fight begins. Vulcan's gonna be the man on the front line here yet again. That's normally where he wants to be. Bullet time coming out, but into the back line goes Broken Blade for the showstopper. So much CC, so much damage. TSM will crush Cloud9 into the dirt. But the fight is gonna be started now by Dardoch around the TSM. Solar Flare's not gonna find much. Sven's on the front line. That's not the guy you can afford to lose here early on in the fight. The bullet time goes through, but Sven's gonna be killed here and now. Over the wall goes Dardoch. He's sleepy, he's in trouble, but he's resurrected. Bjergsen is right there, ready to go. Niski's got the bomb on his head. Safeguard's not enough. C9 carries down.
Down feathers. Oh, no, it's lost. Yeah, it's lost. Yeah. Let's try. Oh.
My opinion of the game is that I don't mind that we lost. I don't care. In my opinion, we are super outdrafted, but in the game, they misplayed really hard, so we had a huge lead. And then I feel like we gave it to them by being disrespectful. And that's how we lose all our scrims too, mostly at least. So it feels like our bad scrim habits lost us a game on stage. Now the game doesn't matter because we're 12 wins, right? So we'll still be first place most likely, no matter what happens. But it just feels like we shouldn't let this happen on stage. At least on scrims, we always say like, yeah, this won't happen on stage. We'll not be doing this, but then it happens in the game, and it felt really bad.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, I think their draft was like they prepared really well, and they had like a really good draft into. I think they thought we were gonna pick like MF and Zoe for sure. So they kind of prepared a big team fight wombo combo, and they actually trolled in game, so we actually had a chance to win, even though they had like the better draft, but we didn't really recognize what they were gonna do with it. So then we ended up just like 5v5ing, and then like we just can't win that way.
I don't know. I think they just prepared really well, and they kind of headshot us, in my opinion. I knew something was wrong when they left Zoe up, to be honest. I thought they would pick something else into my Zoe. They did not. And yeah, they prepped really well, and they punished our habits, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is obviously going to be like the drafting, where we'll just, I mean, we didn't expect them to draft that way, so it's like a new thing to look out for, and we'll like draft differently next time, which I don't think is that like big of a deal or anything. Mm-hmm. And then I think the other thing is that like sometimes we are going to get out drafted, like especially in playoffs, like you can't win every draft because it's just not possible. So I think the big thing for me is also just being able to recognize better what they're trying to do in game, so that we can figure out how to play around it. Because like that game was a totally winnable game if we just didn't fight like basically the dragon specifically. So yeah. I think the biggest reason why I want to be a pro player is because it's something that I'm really, really good at, and it's something that I can work at and keep improving at, and that there's always more I can do, and it just feels like super rewarding at the end of the day. And so many of the things in like when I'm working on them in game are also just like working on myself, so it just like it just feels good to play. I think for me, I'd want to be like known as like one of the all-time great players. I think that is what I would really like to achieve during my career. I have no idea how long I want to play for. I mean, my contract is for 3 years, so 3 years is a good yes. And then after that, like maybe more, maybe less. I think that, I don't know, I think that it's just as long as it interests me and as long as I still want to be the best, I will keep playing. I've really enjoyed playing it. It's been my favorite game that I've ever played, but I don't think I ever loved it the way that I think some players do. I think for me it was always about the competition and always about being able to be the best and beat others, and like now I'm trying to focus more on being the best that I can be and focusing less on the others part, but that's still kind of hard for me. But it's all about the competition.
What song are you listening to? What song are you listening to right now?
I'm a Spotify.
Do you listen to songs on repeat? Or?
Top 100 kind of person?
I listen to the same like four
songs?
games, but then before that I just listen to whatever I like at the time. And I switch it up every once in a while. But
I see.
I do get nervous when cameras are just pointed at me.
Hey.
I'm like not doing. I feel like I should be doing something because I'm not doing anything. You know.
10 air squad, I guess.
Yeah, squats.
10
Everyone wants to see your form, you know.
Got it.
You're the light guy today, Fresh?
I'm a light guy every day.
Oh yeah?
Every day.
Even on stage.
He's holding the light one point.
Okay, everyone do the fish.
I'm right here. No touch.
Everyone go on the floor right now.
No more fishes in LCS.
Oh fuck. I'm
All
banned.
right, guys. It's a week 2. The fact that game 2. Oh, okay. But anyway, it's a game 2. The fact that if we are win one more game, we are secure the first place. But it doesn't really matter. We don't have that kind of. I don't want you guys to have any pressure when you guys are playing the game. I want you guys to focus all the games because we are, right? So.
I got it,
Yeah, you got it, right? Yeah, so, I want you guys fully focus your game, and doesn't really matter you made mistakes or not. It naturally follows like you know, it doesn't really matter. Just figure out what you wanted to do and what they wanted to do, and then, you know, good to go. Cool. There's all the process to get the fucking getting higher. Because we are high.
Nice coach.
1, 2, 3, C9!
I don't think the Golden Guardians are a team that does anything like fantastically better than anyone else. Like I think they're okay in lane, they're okay as a team, they're okay at team fighting. Like I don't think there's anything in particular that's super scary about them. So I think that to prepare is just to work on our own stuff and make sure we play our game.
Going. The lanes like we see here on top side. Flashing into the stun. Flash comes out from Hansa, but Cloud9 are still looking for it, and the spear in the back. Flash into a skewer, but he will not have the distance for it. But if we're talking about distance, Talia is able to close it there with the wall. Here comes the Pantheon. This is the composition. This is how oppressive this combination can be. Immediately popping the stasis, making sure they're not able to return the aggro onto him. However, now he's going to be found by the CC of the Sejuani ult. He goes on a rampage, finding the kill onto the Aphelios. Closer trying to get himself out, and it's Licorice into the back lines. It's Pike finding the spot with the X as soon as Haunter.
Yeah, I make it too.
Oh, the flash!
Define.
I think it's fine, I think it's okay.
Start. We get one. Going. Okay. Nice.
Behind, Ritchie.
Yeah, I'm on you. Sure.
We need to get Ritchie.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Alright, good job.
Well played. Good job done. Thank you.
Thanks. It's fine, boys.
No, he flashed on me. Deny!
GG's. Nice, guys.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't all chat.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of, like, it adds that little bit extra to a game when you're playing against your old teammate and you get to like beat him and then give him the hug after. It feels good to have first seed, but it's also like something we were expecting from pretty early on. Like I'd say after we were 7-0, 8-0, like somewhere in there, it's like, okay, like unless we massively troll or like fall apart, we're gonna get first. So I think it just kind of like happened more so than like, oh my god, we like did it. Like when Blabber first started playing and we like barely, I think we got second place. Like that felt like amazing, and this is like, oh yeah, we got first.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, it feels nice to get first just because ever since I've been on C9, we've always had to play TSM in semis because we didn't have choice and TL always did. So they would like choose a weaker team like CG or 100 to play in semis, and then we'd have to play TSM, which, I mean, we won once, I think, and lost once. We won one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, it feels nice, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the goal one is weird because I think that setting it low is like bad, but setting it to like I want to win Worlds is like really hard because I haven't even won North America yet. So I think the first goal, I want to win LCS. Like absolutely, I want to win LCS, and ideally we're gonna win twice this year. That's the goal. And I think after that, I think that winning Worlds is just such a, it just doesn't mean anything at this point because there's been so many like teams that have been like, I want to win Worlds, and then like they like don't come anywhere close. So I think for me, I want to be able to beat anybody at Worlds. And I think that if we go to Worlds finals and we can take 2 games off the world champions, then I think that we did really well.